So my story. So this was in high school. And every single time I would leave the house, my mom would always say to me, call me when you get there so I know you didn't land in a ditch somewhere. And I'm thinking, and I said, Mom, who do you know that landed in a ditch? Like, and where are these ditches? And I don't remember ever seeing like an obituary, like death by ditch. And she's like, that's enough. I'm like, this is absurd. So like, I would just like go out. And so this particular night, my friend, same thing as always, my friend Nicole would pick me up. And I said, oh, I'll be fine. I'm just going to Nicole's house. We're going to go watch a movie. And she's like, okay. And so basically, AKA like full blown like rager. So I get to the party and like, we're in the party and everyone has like the red silo cups. They're drinking their like trash can punch in it. You've got like Rush in one part of the house. You've got like Led Zeppelin in another, Pink Floyd. Like this was a full blown party. So me and my friends start walking in, we're looking around, and what I'm doing, you guys, is because this is like pre-cell phone, I'm looking for a landline to call my mom. So I'm looking around, I'm like, okay, so I need the guts to do this. So I go over, I get my own cup, I start putting some gin in it, like gin in it, right? And then some ice, and then like, I don't know, like some Sprite. So I've got that going, and I'm talking to a couple of people, trying to get my courage up to ask the host for the landline, which is like not very cool. So anyway, what you do is you find like the parents' bedroom. So I go up to the parents' bedroom, and it's like muffling like the sound underneath, the door, trying to like cover that. I call my mom. Hi, Mom. She's like, okay. Hi, okay, you okay? Yep, I'm good. I'm at Nicole's. Watching 16 Candles. Again. Okay, well, be careful. Be careful of what? Okay, I gotta go. I'm just like trying to get off the phone. So I get off the phone. I'm feeling like really guilty. So I go back downstairs, and at this point, the party just picked up like a lot. And there's keg stands, there's a lot of different things going on, and it's just raided. So the cops come in, there's kids like running out the back door, jumping out of windows, and I'm like, oh shit. So I remember, and the cops are just like right there, so I'm like, I have like the worst experience with cops. I have the worst luck with cops. So I remember someone saying to me, do you know, like if you take pennies and you suck on them, like it'll like kind of mess up the breathalyzer. So I'm like sitting in my handbag and I'm like just chucking like pennies in my mouth, and it has like lint stuck to it and like little pieces of Trident, and I'm just like fucking digging in there, and I'm like throwing quarters up in my mouth, and I have like a whole like mouthful of coins. So the cop just makes a beeline for me. And I'm not a stranger to this cop. But anyway, so he makes a beeline, and then, I go to jail. So, like, the same time, like, a little bit, like, fast forward, so this is senior year. And in senior year, you get to actually leave the premises to go to lunch. And so I had my little Toyota Tercel, and I'm like, I have 30 minutes. I can either A, go to the smoking lounge, because you could also do that as a senior in 1988, or I could go to Burger King, because I was hankering for the original chicken sandwich so bad, like, with the mayonnaise and the shredded lettuce on a sesame seed bun. And I'm like, I'm gonna go to Burger King. I think I have enough time. So I take my little go-kart, like little Toyota Tercel, and I'm like driving. I've got like my little tape cassette in there. It's blaring. I'm like, I got time. I go in, I get my order, I get my Sprite. Now I'm driving back. I'm eating the fries simultaneously with my chicken sandwich. I've got the Sprite. I'm also stick shifting. And then I also feel like, oh my God, I do think I could fit in a cigarette. So I push in the lighter, and I'm like jamming, and then it pops out, and then like I'm like lighting my Parliament, and then I'm all excited, and then so I'm like driving, and then there's one part at the railroad tracks where if you go fast enough, you can catch air. So I'm like, and I go, and I'm midair, and I'm like, yes, I'm about to come down, and there is a construction worker with a stop sign right in front of me, and I flip out. So I'm not a stranger to accidents. I didn't have my seatbelt on, and I thought to myself, okay, maybe if I like starfish and put, like, this is a small car, starfish, put both my hands and roll, I won't flip around so much. So I do that, and I flip, and now I'm upside down, and my fries are over here. I see the shredded lettuce leaves over here. Everything's flying. My soda. I stop, and all of a sudden, I'm like in the car on all fours, but I'm on the roof. And I just hear like my little tape deck, like The Cure, like alone, alone. Nah, nah, nah. I'm like, just turn it the fuck down. I turn it down. I was freaking out. And you know what I was looking for, you guys? My cigarette. Because I really needed a cigarette at that time. I'm upside down. The construction workers start flying over. Get her out, get her out, get her out. So they get me out, and I look over, and I'm like, oh, my God. So my car's up, and its little wheels. It looks like a beetle on its back with its little legs. And then I just see, like, this chalk drawing outline of all my tape cassettes, which was really hard to see. And I'm thinking, this is really, really bad. So the ambulance come. Well, first the cops come, and they're like, oh, you again. So this is a small town in Pennsylvania. I was popular with the cops. So then I was like, you guys, I'm sober, though. So the ambulance comes, and then they're like, we should take you to the hospital. And I'm just like, oh, my God, if anyone sees me in the back of an ambulance, I would fucking die. So I'm like, that's embarrassing. So I'm like, no, I'm good. And I feel like if all of my limbs are working, I'm good. And so like I said, lots of accidents, like golf cart accidents, like scooter, like Vespa, whatever. I've been in them. And if things are working, I'm good. So I'm like, calm. So then they're like, we're going to call, the ambulance anyway. So they call the ambulance, I'm talking to the cops. And there's this one guy, Sean, and he's checking me out. He's the ambulance guy. He's checking me out. How do you feel? I said, I feel great, whatever. Long story short, we ended up going on a date. And he called me Flipper. But I just, in hindsight, looked at the situation. I was like, my mom has been through so much stuff with me, like dabbled in drugs, picked me up from jail, underage drinking, dabbled, drugs, dated a guy with a mohawk, and the cops are like, your car is going to be deemed, totaled. So we're going to have to drive you home. Again, you guys, this is like pre-cell phone. So I was like, okay. So I get in the car, we drive home, and my mom sees a cop car pulling up, and she comes running out of the house. She's like, oh, my God, Bridget, what did you do? Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, what's gone wrong? What did you do? And I said, well, Mom, I landed in a ditch somewhere. It's short.
Bridget O'Neill.